Hello, my artists. Mrs. Keitel here. I want to start by saying how much I miss you all. This is not the ideal way to end our April in the art room, and not how we would like the end of our year to be either. But what I wanted to give you all is some resources, some ideas, maybe even some tricks on how you can be creative at home. So I have a PowerPoint to share with you. You can locate this on my YouTube. You can also find it on my teacher page and my Instagram. If you need any other help, you can always email me or message me through those. I'm going to switch my face over here a little bit so you can see the PowerPoint better. Do what you can with what you have. That's going to be our mantra. That's going to be our idea as we look through this PowerPoint. We're going to be thinking about ways to create at home with what we have. Now, art supplies, even if you don't have the traditional art supplies, it does not mean that you cannot create. Now is a great time to use up what we have and to think outside of the box. So while you're at home, we're going to do what you can with what you have. So we will see some of our traditional supplies within the next couple slides, but we're also going to see things that are going to get you to think outside of the box, even making things at home. We're going to get creative, we're going to experiment, and we're going to explore. So sometimes less is more. And this is going to be an example where you're going to be able to show exactly what you can create using just what you have. Now, if you don't have any fancy drawing paper at home, that is absolutely okay. Try collecting and using different papers. You might use notebook, lined paper, printer paper, or newspaper. These we can typically find within our home. If you don't have papers like that, then you could use things like mail, tissue paper from old gifts, coffee filters, music sheets, old manuals, old books with permission, and even magazines. Mail is a really good one. For example, that's going to come to our house consistently. Even if we aren't getting actual mail, we can typically get an ad or a flyer or even a postcard from someone from the state that's going to allow us to have that material, that paper to use. As far as drawing and coloring utensils go, our basics from pencils and pens can typically be found in a house. You might even have crayons, markers, colored pencils as well, but whatever you have is okay. Just make it work. You might also try to use chalk, old makeup in your house, dirt clumps when you're outside, or even water in a water bottle can be a really fun way to draw on the sidewalk. So again, if you don't have those typical drawing utensils, those are other ways you can be creative. Even if you are looking to draw and you don't have those other coloring materials, then maybe you'll think about paint and the utensils you might need to paint, or even printing within drawings. We might have paintbrushes, the traditional tool, or you could experiment with toothbrushes. Kitchen scrubbers and utensils are going to make good movement lines and textures. Sticks and natural objects can be found in our yard to try to paint with, and even Q-tips or cotton balls. When printing, we can oftentimes use vegetables and fruits to do printing with. By cutting an apple, a lemon, lime, or potato in half, we can use it to print with by painting a little paint on that end and stamping it down. You might also find sponges, erasers, blocks, real stamps, or cardboard at your house. All of those can be used together. Now, if you don't have paint at your home, we can try to experiment and make our own paint. Sometimes you can use old dried up markers to make watercolors by putting the watercolors in a cup overnight. You could also experiment with coffee or tea stains if you have those beverages at home. Simply make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and add different amounts of water in different cups to create different values. You could also experiment with herbs and seasonings. Different herbs and seasonings can be mixed with water to create pigment-like paints. When you're thinking about moving from 2D to 3D, maybe you've found and used different kinds of paper and now you're ready to make something a little more sculptural. There are lots of ways to do that. One specifically is by gathering cardboard, and that's something that typically comes and goes from our homes fairly often. We might have kitchen items like cereal or dry foods that are coming in boxes. Deliveries come and go. If you have a sibling that is still in diapers and needing wipes, there might be boxes of those. Also, mail comes with postcards or oftentimes cardboard envelopes, And my personal favorite, and in my opinion, the easiest to access, are paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls. Everybody's got a toilet paper roll in their house. Now, once you've kind of thought about the ways that you're going to use materials in a different way and the ways you're going to experiment, then you can think about themes that you might work with, or themes that you might want to do for a week and then swap it up. A couple ideas are starting with food art. You could create a color wheel with food. Draw your plate of food. Draw with food by making things that are creating images, or these noodles at the bottom middle here are creating a mandala. You might photograph the steps of your meal making process or create food bugs or animals. These here on the right are super cute. You might try nature art by drawing what you see in your backyard. You could also create a temporary sculpture. You might use sticks, rocks, pine cones, or other items you find in the yard. You could even create a mandala or radial design with leaves or other items. If you're interested in that, check out artist Andy Goldsworthy. Clothing art, one of my personal favorites, can be done by creating a wheel with clothing. You might get together with family members and make monochromatic outfits and take portraits. You could paint with your clothes. You could transform your clothing by tie-dyeing or maybe altering with cuts or drawing on them. Of course, get permission first. You could even do outfit of the day documentation. Another idea is recycled art. You might think of literally going through your recycle bin before the recycle truck comes and finding things like water bottles and cardboard and plastic containers, lids, all sorts of things that you could make little sculptures out of. A few examples might be water bottle mobiles or sun catchers, egg carton sculptures. They can make really cool faces if you cut an egg carton in certain ways, collages or mosaics, cars or structures that can be mobile and move. You could even do a milk jug or carton bird or squirrel feeder. So you could be doing things for inside or outside. There are many options. Another thing you might think about doing if you don't have all those recycles for options would be to do a sketchbook or journal. Sketchbook and journal art is a really good way to get your thoughts and emotions out on paper. You might sketch, doodle, draw, write. These are all forms of making an expression. You could make lists for yourself. Lists of your favorite things, places you would like to go, goals to set for yourself, memories you have, anything that you're thinking of and making a list for, you could draw about. You might create a comic that tells a story of your life right now. Create step-by-step how to draw directions for something you enjoy drawing, or our personal favorites, you could just free draw. Now, if you're wondering how you might be able to locate me, or if you're making art and you would like to share it with me, which I would absolutely love, you can locate my Instagram, my YouTube, my teacher page, or my email. All of these are linked in this document. All of these are linked in the newsletter, and all of these are linked on my teacher web page. So if you need to find me, there are lots of places to look. We're going to check out the Instagram really quickly. My Mrs. Keitel art Instagram looks as so. I have a couple running stories right now for the month of April. Coming back, we're going to see my YouTube page here. I'm going to make sure I can get over to my channel. Perfect. There are not very many updated videos here. I'm going to be working on that in the weeks to come, this video being one of them, but you can find old sub-lessons to work on if you would like. My teacher page, located in the Kate Wickham Elementary School website, has a welcome page, but where you can locate our current newsletter items or bingo cards is on the 2019 to 2020 page. So you can even find the link to the document we just saw, all of the other COVID information you might need, my Instagram links, etc. Last but not least, it's my email. So if you want to click on this in your browser, it should connect with your email. Now, my students, I hope that you find ways to be creative every day. Remember that these are enrichment opportunities. These are not required of you, but they should be giving you a base to go from to create some wonderful art. Please follow me on Instagram, tag me in anything you're making, send me an email of photos. I cannot wait to see you all in the fall.